Hey, good morning. We're Adam and Joe. This is BBC Six Music. Welcome to our breakfast show.
Joe, your mic isn't working, man.
Well, I'm shouting to make up for it.
It's working.
Was that my fault?
No, it wasn't your fault.
No. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Adam.
I'm Joe.
Very nice to be here. We're filling in for Sean Keaveney, in case you didn't realise, for a couple of weeks here on Six Music.
We'll be here till 10 a.m. and we've got lots of stuff coming up in the show. We might be doing Cruddy Commentary Corner later. We've got our brand new... Can we call it a feature?
Go on.
Feature, Text the Nation. Yeah?
Yeah.
Coming up maybe in the second hour. We've also got a serial thriller. We've got our pick of the session tracks. We've got great music coming up in this hour alone. We've got the Eels, Candy Payne, the Kaiser Chiefs, and some love.
That was the Killers with Mr. Brightside you heard before, incidentally. And right now, I think we're going to hear the White Stripes. Is that right?
Crikey. A guitar solo for dogs there.
Oh, very high-pitched, you mean?
Very high-pitched is what I mean, yeah.
Right up
that
at
is
the,
what I mean.
right up at the... Down at the bottom of the neck, in
No,
fact.
up at the top of the neck.
No, he's down at the bottom of the neck.
Oh, of the guitar neck.
Of the guitar.
But in terms of the human neck, right up at the top by the ears.
Yeah.
And, yeah, very ultrasonic there.
That's good. Is that from the new one, Lisa? Yeah, there you go. And it's called You Don't Know What Love Is, the White Stripes. Is the new one any good?
That's right. It's kind of condescending, isn't it?
It from Jack?
Yeah.
A little bit. You don't know what love is.
Do you I thought I knew what love was. I think I do.
Yeah, at least 10C... No, who was it that said, I want to know what love is?
10cc.
It wasn't. They said, I'm not in love.
Oh, no, you're right. What were they called? Foreigner.
Foreigner.
Was
exactly.
it?
They wanted to
Yeah.
know. At least they wanted to know. They had an inquiring mind about love.
Yeah.
Jack, he's just like, you don't even
He's
know
so
what
cocky.
love is.
He should be brought down a peg or two.
Maybe Meg...
Do they still chart that band?
Meg will bring
Do
him
their
down a
singles
peg.
get into the charts?
Surely. They're one of the biggest acts around.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to track them down. It's my mission to make them my friends.
All right.
I love them because I'm romantically enamoured of Meg.
Really?
And
She's so pale.
I like her.
She's so pale. She'd disappear in the sheets.
She's like a porcelain...
She'd just be a black triangle and two pink circles.
She's like a talented porcelain dolly. I'm not even going to think about that. And Jack, all men surely admire Jack. He's like a sort of Mexican
I'm indifferent, to be honest, mate.
guitar-slinging bandido.
I'm indifferent.
Really?
Yeah.
You're always indifferent, aren't you?
Yeah.
But,
no.
no, I'm just saying that, no, different is what I meant.
Yeah, I am different. I'm so different.
You are different. And of course, the White Stripes, responsible for so many of the greatest videos in rock history.
That's true.
And, one of them...
The one where all the drums replicate?
That Michel Gondry one. Well, in fact...
It's always Michel Gondry,
It's always, isn't it? And the other one, of course, is the Lego one. Now, Lego... I have been obsessed by for the last few months. My son is now getting to the age where he's really...
Well, he's into Bionicle, isn't he? Bionicles, they're a Lego spin-off.
There's about 1,000 Lego spin-offs, but he's into all of the various Lego tropes, if that's the right word. But, what do you call the little blobbles on Lego? What would you call them?
Oh, the little stivs.
Stivs?
The stivs.
You go for stivs?
The hunkles.
Hunkles.
The circular trubes.
Yeah.
The spims.
Right.
The doubles.
Well, this is something that maybe people could text us.
The Connie hooks.
I'd like the Connie hooks from Blue
Yeah,
Peter.
yeah.
I'd like
The stibbles.
I'd like the official explanation for what you call those little things. Here's the most boring thing you could call
Runks.
them. Units. Right?
They're not units.
So if you're identifying a block, you say, I'd like a 2x4 unit, a red block, please.
That's true. They come in one. Do they come in ones? They used to come in ones. In single stiv.
Sure.
Blocks.
There's all kinds of new...
Two stiv blocks.
Stivs.
I remember when Lego introduced people.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't used to have little Lego men.
Never.
Never. No, you had to use them with your own soldiers or play people.
That's true.
You
If
had
you
to
wanted-
integrate the toys,
If
blend
you wanted
the
a
toys.
little person, you had to just put two little
Exactly.
red blocks and then
Exactly.
maybe a yellow block on top.
For their hair.
Yeah?
Yeah, in fact, they used to make sort of big, giant Lego people, didn't they?
That's right.
And everything in the Lego world was much bigger than it is now.
The
But then they
Dark
introduced
Ages.
people
Yeah.
with removable hair, just like Playmobil.
And now
characters.
they're amazing. Have you seen the Star Wars ones they do?
Yes, I have.
They are brilliant.
They're brilliant.
So listen, folks, do text us if you'd like to tell us either what those
Stimples.
stimples are really called.
It's Lego anatomy.
Chads. They're like Lego Chads, aren't they?
Well, a Chad is a voting slip, isn't it?
yeah, but it's the little stipple that comes off when it gets punched.
Right.
And it hangs off.
The ripple.
The hanging Chad. So what's it called, folks? What's the real name for it? What's the made-up name? Whatever you call it, you can text, what is it?
What is it? Well, these are numbers, Adam.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that one is?
6,
Yeah, what's that one?
4.
That one? The big ooh?
Is it what the world?
No, the circle. Remember, like the black hole?
Space.
Space. No, listen. 64046. Text 64046 if you want to communicate with us. If you want to email, you can email Adam and Joe, all one word, @6 music @bbc.co.uk.
What are those Lego things called?
Let's have some eels while we think. That was the Eels with Last Stop This Town. This is Adam and Joe on BBC 6 Music, filling in for Sean Keaveney. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking to the listeners.
Oh, sorry, I got all excited because I thought, oh, he's talking to me.
No, why would I talk to you?
Joe Cornish, he's talking to me.
It's exciting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, morning everybody. We've been asking you what the hell the little bumps on Lego bricks are called. That's exactly the kind of thing that a sort of inane breakfast show should be talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
At 7:16 in the morning, or whatever it is, 17.
What kind of, we'll talk about the Lego bumps in a second, although I should say that our producer Lisa was a little confused. As soon as the Eels started playing, she said, what are you
She
talking
said,
about?
what's Lego?
What are you talking about? I mean, ladies, obviously...
She was brought up by a very cruel mum, like the mum in the film Carrie,
Yeah.
who kept you on a little chain in the cupboard under the sink, and you were only allowed to play with mould. Isn't that right?
And Duplo, she was
And
never
every
allowed...
Sunday you had to kneel in the cupboard and pray. Isn't that right? All day.
She's
And when you
crossing
didn't,
her arms, look.
cutlery came out of the cutlery drawer, flew across the kitchen, and spiked all over your body.
Anyway, Lego.
That's out of Carrie, or is that out of the Boogeyman?
Lisa
Can't
just
remember.
said, anyway, Lego, very loudly.
Yeah.
But no, she
There's
didn't
a hint
understand which bits we were actually talking about. We're talking about the little bits that actually help you connect one block to another, you know, the bumpy bits.
That's a nice way of putting it. They help you connect them together.
Well,
They assist you. It's true.
yeah.
I need to connect these bricks together. I need some help.
I can help with that.
Say the blank.
Say the stivs.
Well, somebody anonymously has texted us, and it would be great if you'd put your names on your text. Sorry, it's early in the morning. My lungs aren't working properly, so we can tell who you are. We've got an anonymous text that says Lego lumps are called nubblies, but I like the phrase Lego lumps.
Lego lumps, yeah.
Yeah. We've got another text, and this is from Kev in Liverpool, who says the bits on Lego bricks are called locklets, except on Star Wars Lego, where they're called Ewoks.
That's not true.
You should have called them Eloks.
Eloks.
We would have gone for Eloks.
Eloks.
Locklets. So it's locklets versus nubblies.
Well,
This is the kind of thing only the Lego website can solve.
yeah, we might have to go on there soon.
Or maybe Wikipedia. Maybe that's got a label diagrammatic of a Lego brick.
That's true, isn't it? And while you're considering this, consider this. It's still
Adam's
very...
just taken his top off and
very
he's
early.
pointing at his breasts. He's saying, consider this.
Consider my hairy breasts. Now, no, consider this. Here is an idea for a book, right, that my brother was talking about. I probably even
Is
shouldn't...
this your brother's idea?
Yeah. I shouldn't even mention
He
this.
might be angry.
He
that
might
you-
be angry.
Yeah, but who cares?
But I'm putting it out there just so I can lay some claim on it for the family, right?
Uh-huh.
In case we ever get
Is this
it
a
together.
novel or a...
No, this is an idea for a coffee table type book that would
Right.
make a fortune.
Right.
But only probably for Lego. I don't know what the legalities of it would be. But the idea is a compendium, a celebration of Lego throughout the ages that would include all the best instructions that there have ever been
OMG.
for great Lego models. Do you know what I mean?
Now, did they used to come with instructions?
Well, of course, they always come with instructions. Their instructions
Did
are
they?
amazing. They're a masterpiece of concision and clarity. They're brilliant.
Are they really?
Yeah, they are brilliant. They're
Really?
artworks in themselves. But here's a book that would compile...
I think a book of actual instructions.
Yeah.
I think in a way you're limiting yourself to limit it to Lego. Yeah?
Just all instructions.
Yeah, just amazing instructions.
Right. But no, come on, that's got to be a good... I'm going to talk to Lego about that. Because why doesn't that exist already? There's got to be some reason, maybe. Are there any Lego people listening very early in the morning?
Lego people? What, actual Lego people?
Yeah.
Little plastic Lego people.
Tiny Lego people, please.
Listening. They
Call in.
probably are because they can't sleep because they can't close their eyes because their eyes are painted on their heads.
Joe, I've got a candy pane.
Have you?
Yes.
Well, let's give you one more chance
Thank
then.
you.
Terrible introduction.
Very good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the great Harry Hill. Am I not right in saying he's bringing back Game for a Laugh?
I thought you were going to say hanging.
We might be doing that as well.
Game for a laugh. That's a good idea.
He is sort of reoccupying the space that Jeremy Beadle used to occupy in the 80s, but doing it, if such a thing is possible,
Even more
with even
successfully.
extra wit and invention.
Yeah.
And a little bit of surreality. Yeah, that's what Harry Hill specialises in.
TV Bup's one of the best shows around, man. That's still
Even
going.
though it was recently punished by the Broadcasting Standards Authority for being naughty in some way, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't remember that.
It did something bad, I can't remember.
Everyone's done something bad on telly
It's
at
true.
some point. They're all liars.
We're
It's
all
a
liars.
pit of deceit.
Really is.
It really is.
Hey, hello, we're Adam and Joe. Welcome to BBC Six Music. This is our breakfast show. We're covering for Sean Keaveney. And we've had a few more texts in about what you call the joiny things on Lego bricks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nubblies, locklets, e-locks.
E-locks. They were specifically on the Star Wars Lego things.
Lego
But
lumps.
it seems that Sarah in Edinburgh is going to bring this whole debate to a close.
Yeah,
she
good.
says, according to the Wikipedia page, it's called a stud.
A stud. Of course it's called a stud. There you go. Yeah.
Is it called a stud, though?
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? That's the best descriptive word for them.
Yeah, but I think that's like a generic term.
Do you know that's also a good description for
For me.
me?
Is it?
For me. Yeah.
In what? Because you conquer so many women?
No, because I'm short. And
No,
stubby.
you're a stump.
A stud.
Yeah, that would be a better description.
Well, there you
for
go. It's a stud. All right.
Wait,
enough
hang
said.
on. Sarah's bringing us more information.
Oh.
Yeah, she's logged onto that Wikipedia page and she's read it.
Right.
And then she's copied what she read and sent it to us.
That's good.
And she's also said that the word Lego comes from a Danish phrase which means what, Adam?
Block fun.
No, it means play well.
Oh, almost. There you go.
Lego.
There you
Hey,
go.
thanks, Sarah in Edinburgh.
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, I think that piece of information was even featured in quite an interesting article in Word magazine this month, where they tell you all about the derivation of a lot of brand names.
Right, okay, moving on. It's time for Adam's archive session track, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I went through all the Peel sessions, having a look at them, and there's a great list of
So did I, by the way.
Yeah. We both did.
Yeah.
There's a great list of like the 50 best ever Peel sessions as voted for by Peel himself and friends and admirers and fans and stuff. And this was one of them. This is Gary Newman. And when's it from, Lisa?
1979.
79. So
Yeah.
Newman at the peak of his powers. And this is a track called Films.
Adam's pick of the BBC archive.
He's a humanoid from space. That was Gary Newman from 1979. That's Peel session, and that track was called Films. This is Adam and Joe here on Six Music. Time for the news now, read by Harvey and
Adrian.
that's the wonderful Ash with Girl from Mars. This is Adam and Joe here on Six Music from the BBC.
Now, there was just an item on the news there, beautifully read by Adrian and Harvey, about Kanye West doing a secret gig in London.
I think that was Adrian who was reading that bit.
Yeah.
He does the music news.
And when I was in America recently, I bought the new Common album. Do you know who Common is?
He's a rapper man.
He's a rapper, man, and his new album's produced by Kanye West, and it's really good.
Right.
I might play a track from it today or tomorrow or something. It's called Finding Forever. Mm-hmm. And I bought it, and every time I went out in my car, I stuck it on. And you know when you hire a car and you've only got one CD?
Yeah.
And you listen to it over and over and over again. And it becomes kind of like the theme tune to your trip.
Right.
That's what happened with this album by Common. So about a week into my holiday, I don't drink coffee myself, but I went into a Starbucks with a friend. And, you know, Starbucks sells CDs.
That's right.
But they don't
Macca.
sell a lot of CDs. They select particular CDs.
Yes.
And there was the Common CD.
So you
The
immediately...
Starbucks selection. They had two CDs. They had the Common CD and a Dave Matthews CD.
Oh,
And it made me suddenly feel ill.
I'm a Starbucks music jerk.
I'm a mass culture idiot.
I've fallen for
I'm
the
listening to the same tripe that a million coffee-swilling
Gimps.
brains
Nice,
Yeah.
better than Gimps.
are listening to. Do you think that's?
Brains.
Do you think I was right to feel belittled, to feel less special?
Well, that's the modern quandary, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the whole nightmare of living
I
in...
couldn't really listen to it for another day.
It's...
It felt sullied by a massive, world-strangling coffee corporation.
You know what? Bottom line, of course it's not right, Joe, yeah?
Yeah.
The joy you got from that music is... that's the most important thing. And
Has it ever happened to you?
of course.
Anything similar?
But it's... yeah.
It's like
Lots
when
of
you
things.
discover a band.
Yeah.
You think you're the only person who's kind of listening to them, or
Right.
you're part of a minority, and then a week later they shoot to the top of the charts.
Yeah, exactly. It's a total drag. It's probably the way Andrew Collins felt when the Arctic Monkeys got really massive.
Did he just sort of discover them then?
Well, no, he was like a really early advocate of theirs.
Really?
He was always going on about them on Six Music, and he wrote some articles about them in various magazines and stuff. And he was like a really early fan and got into them when they were doing their MySpace stuff. But he always championed them, like he wanted them to get big. So I guess maybe he didn't mind. But certainly I'm in the camp where it's nicer if it's your own little secret, and it's certainly you don't want it being sold over the counter at Starbucks of all places.
Starbucks?
Yeah, because it's like a symbol of everything that's rotten about capitalism getting involved with art and stuff.
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
know what? I love them.
Well,
I'm
love-
just trying to be balanced.
Yeah, okay.
I think they're a symbol of everything that's good in the world.
that's right. Whereas
High
Adam
quality
Buxton-
coffee for all. You know, at affordable prices.
But
right,
it's the same
Lisa?
with Dire Straits. You know, it was not a fashionable band to be into because they were just too massive back in the 80s, and they were associated with yuppies and slightly idiotic people. But actually, you know, they were good. They were good. If you listen
they?
back to "Do the Walk of Life," maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't good. Anyway, let's have some more music now. Here's Katie Tunstall.
Extraordinary noise. Is that what young people call music these days?
I watched Die Hard 4 the other day.
4.0,
Sorry,
please.
4.0.
Die harder.
Right. And there's some good scenes at the beginning where young people are hacking at their computers, and while they're hacking, they're listening to kind of the worst music I've ever heard. Basically, like sort of what looked like 15-year-old goth girls just sort of going, yeah.
You should find out what it is. Look on the closing credits, find out what it is, and we'll play it.
All right, I'll find out tonight, and we'll play
We
it
might
tomorrow.
get more younger listeners.
Possibly. But I did it. I felt like my dad. I just thought, what? Are young people really listening to that? That's a disgrace. I don't believe they really are. Plus, I don't believe you could really get any work done if you were listening to that. You know, even if you were hacking, even if you were right on top of your hacking and you were very confident about the hacking, that's not, you know, you're just going to get confused if you listen to that.
Did the computer keys on the keyboard make noises? They did, didn't they, in Die Hard 4? Even in this day and age, you can't have someone typing information into a computer in a movie without every letter they type going beep.
Well, I'm not sure if they were going beep, but there was a lot of clacking going on.
Clacking.
Certainly.
Oh, well, that's all right.
There was very fast clacking, but then there was even clacking when they used rolled up soft keyboards.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And that's not.
I think there's a little sort of digital sound when the letters come up on the keyboard. I noticed it in the Bourne, whatever it is. What's the new one
The
called?
Ultimatum?
No.
Is it?
Supremacy.
Journey.
What's it called? Prophecy.
Autopsy.
Whatever it's called. It happened in
Adventure.
that. And it was going on in Transformers.
Yeah.
Shocking business. Listen, it's time for my archive session track, Joe's archive session track.
What have you picked for us, Joe?
Well, this morning, Adam, I picked some Cornelius.
I love Cornelius.
Who's
He's a
one of our
genius.
famous, one of our most favourite Japanese music makers. I saw him recently at the Royal Festival Hall. He's amazing live. If you ever get the chance to catch him live, he does an incredibly tight live set, which is perfectly coordinated with massive background video projections. And Cornelius's videos are amazing. If you want to check them out, just pop his name into YouTube, and most of them are on there. They're incredibly inventive, kind of lo-fi videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fit. Check out the one for Fit. That's amazing. Do you know that one? It's where everything is sort of animating itself. A box opens at the beginning, and then some
Is
sugar lumps.
That the new one? Yeah,
Sugar lumps
that is
start
amazing.
dancing around.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's great.
and then there's a purse floating in midair, and it opens, and all the money shoots out and stuff like that.
it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. Anyway, this was recorded for John Peel on Radio 1 on the 8th of September 1998. This is Cornelius with a track called Ball in Kickoff.
Joe's Pick of the BBC Archive.
That bit there you can hear, that's not in the track.
It
That's
is. I was actually there. When's that from then? What year is that?
1998.
98.
He's got a new album out now, hasn't he, called Sensuous?
Is he?
Yeah, I do recommend that. That's off his previous album. Was it called Point? Or was that the single?
I can't remember.
Something like that. That's Cornelius with Ball in Kickoff from the Peel Sessions on Radio 1, the 8th of September 1998. Now it's interactive catch-up time.
I love interactive
Yeah.
catch-up time.
You can text us on 64046 or email us at adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk, and various people have. First of all, there is more conflict in the debate about what to call the studs on Lego bricks.
I thought we'd resolved this.
No, we haven't.
You call them
Jim
studs.
from Wiltshire says Lego linkers, calling them linkers there,
Linkers.
are defo called poggers.
Well, he's making that up, though.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
You might have superior knowledge.
How do I know?
On the issue of buying CDs from Starbucks,
Right.
Dan from London says, my sister recently got me a Paul McCartney CD, ... bleeding Paul, bleeding McCartney. Does she not know me? And she got it from Starbucks. I cry at the dysfunctional nature of our once proud family. So Dan, they're in agreement that the very fact that a CD is sold by Starbucks takes a little bit of a sheen off it.
I thought you were just saying, while the music was playing there, that all your, Joe dropped a series of amazing names in the break there, folks, because he's just been in LA doing some work out there. And, so he dropped some extraordinary names, and the consensus with all the names was, it doesn't matter. If you're into something, you're into it. It shouldn't matter.
I'd like to think that.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, I think there is a bit of truth in it. For instance, what about Prince's allegiance with the Mail on Sunday?
That is a
Do
certainly...
you think a little bit less of Prince because he's allied himself with the Mail? Do you think less of McCartney
For those-
because there seems to be something happening culturally where once enormous, flawless stars have kind of abandoned the upper and lower parts of the market and embraced the
Mainstream.
middle market
Sure.
completely unashamedly as a way of surviving. Bowie kind of did it as well, didn't he, slightly? When he went on the internet and all that stuff, started selling shares.
He was doing it on his own terms, though. I mean, if you don't know, folks, then we should remind you that Prince recently decided, now, is this right? Not to release his album in the shops, or to release his album in the shops as well as giving it away free with the Mail on Sunday or something like that.
Like, would you think less of Spoon if they did that? Adam, you're a fan of Spoon.
I love Spoon.
What if Spoon did a tie-in with the Daily Star and had a lady with moist boobs on the cover of their album?
You know, if with the moist boobs would enamor me to them. No, obviously not. You would think less of them. You'd think, what are they doing? You know, great things should be sought out and found and loved and cared for. But then if you're getting something out, the most important thing is the music. Some people think, I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you've got a thought out there, listener, do text us on 64046 or email us adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk.
What was that last McCartney song? Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody have a bun tonight.
Have a bun
Everybody
tonight?
look at thumbs. I don't know. It was something like that. It was that level of genius.
Hey, let's clear the air by having a little bit of, is it the Velvet Underground next?
Yes.
Yeah, with rock and roll.
Luckily, it turns out it's all right now, which is a relief. Can't beat a bit of Velvet Underground at 8 in the morning. That was rock and roll, and this is Adam and Joe here on Six Music. Now here's the news, read by Adrian and Harvey.
The Cure with In Between Days. This is BBC Six Music. You're listening to Adam and Joe on The Breakfast Show. Hello.
It's time for the serial thriller. Let's make up a jingle on the spot for serial thriller. Serial thriller. It's the serial thriller. Oh, crikey. That went badly. That was very bad.
Let's record that and we can play it again tomorrow.
Okay.
We've got on the line Daniel Harris from Tooting. Can you hear us, Daniel Harris?
I can indeed. Hello, good morning.
Now, good morning, Daniel. We hear you might have African flu. Is that correct?
It's a possibility. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, and it's my week off. How fair is that?
You sound like
but
a man.
I was in Nigeria a few weeks ago, and I think I might have picked some virulent strain of flu.
Really?
So,
That's
there we
outbreak,
go.
man. You weren't playing with any monkeys out there, were you?
No, I wasn't actually. No, I was working on an education project.
Really?
Right.
You know, I watched a Nigerian film
Right.
on the plane over to America. Are you interested in that, Daniel, at all?
In film, generally, yeah, absolutely.
Did you know there's something called Nollywood, which is
I
the
did indeed,
Nigerian
yes.
Hollywood?
Yeah, it's the third largest film industry on the planet, apparently.
Is that really true?
Yeah, indeed.
After America and India?
Absolutely.
Is that true? It was extraordinary, the film I saw. It was very amateurishly made, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a reflection of the entire Nigerian film industry, but this one was quite extraordinarily amateurish.
What was it about?
It was about a Nigerian man inheriting some money and coming to live in London.
Uh-huh.
But it looked as if it had been shot by his mate, just, you know, on a domestic handycam, and then edited on his laptop. quite poorly.
It wasn't about his father's mining business collapsing and needing to get someone
That's
to...
Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
No, I'm thinking about those emails that you used to get. Actually, you don't get them anymore, but do you remember, like, hi, I'm from Nigeria. My father's business collapsed recently. He was a millionaire. I need someone in the UK to help me set up a bank account.
I think somebody optioned one of those emails.
Yeah.
Turned it into a film. Are you still with us, Daniel?
I am indeed, yeah.
So listen, your favourite film, apparently, is The Producers. Is that right?
It's one of many, but yeah, The Producers. I suppose if I was going to hire a cinema and take 30 mates in, I'd probably play them The Producers.
This is the remake we're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
it has to be.
With Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
Hardly.
right?
Are you a fan of that one?
Not really. No, it's the original. That's the one I'm into.
And you've got the builders in fixing your boiler, is that right?
They're changing the boiler. Yes, yeah.
Really?
There's sort of lots of tea breaks and occasional work.
That takes one day, right? That's not more than a 2-day.
It's a 2-day job.
Two-day
yeah.
job.
The piping's
We're
very
on day
complicated.
2 now.
It's like installing an organ.
Right.
A pipe organ.
It's like installing the heart of the house.
Isn't it
Yeah,
just?
it's like heart surgery
Open
for the
heart
house,
surgery,
except
exactly.
performed by dorks instead of geniuses.
Hey, you're calling Daniel's Builders dorks. Installing a boiler is a terrific skill.
You know what? They might be listening to this.
They could be, actually. Well, they might be listening to one of the rival channels. You
I'm
never know.
joking, guys. You're not dorks. You're doing a brilliant job. Don't screw up
Yeah,
that.
Dorks is an acronym, isn't it?
Sabotage the whole deal for me, you know.
I don't think dorks is an acronym.
Well, it could be for you now.
If it refers to a whale's tadge. But there you go. That's an actual scientific fact.
So listen, Daniel, you've kindly chosen 2 tracks that will give Adam and me a chance to have a bit of breakfast. What have you chosen?
It's Apollo 440 with Stop the Rock. Haven't heard it for ages, but it's very much a sort of a bounce you out of bed and bounce you into work type of song. So
Now,
that'd be good.
we were talking about tracks that are sort of influenced by various commercial associations, and that one was a track that was on a video game, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
The Rock. Stop the Rock. It was used for a football game, and it was used for a lot of commercial things. But that doesn't stop you enjoying it, though, does it?
Not me. No, not me at all.
No.
What's your second track,
The
Daniel?
other one is KLF and Tammy Wynette.
Good choice.
An utterly bizarre but beautiful track. I mean, it's one of those things where 2 weird things come together and make something rather wonderful. And that's Justified and Ancient.
There you go. And that was a great video as well. She turned up in that video, didn't she?
Did she?
I think so. Do you remember that, Daniel?
Vaguely, yeah.
And she looked sort of confused, as you would if you were in a collaborative effort with the KLF.
And singing about ice cream vans and moo-moo land and stuff.
There you go.
Well, great choices, Daniel. Thank you very much for calling in and talking to us, and thanks for your choices.
Hope the boiler surgery goes well, and I really hope you start feeling better before your week off is up.
Thank you very much indeed.
So here we go. This is our serial thriller for Tuesday morning. We'll be back after we've had a bit of a snack.
That was Stop the Rock by Apollo 440, and before that you heard Justified and Ancient with, that was the KLF with Tammy Wynette.
Yeah, and we're Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music, filling in for Sean W. Keaveney for a couple of weeks. We've been taking your emails on the on a certain problem we've identified in contemporary music listening. What do you do when your favourite artist becomes associated with some kind of mass brand?
Yeah, when your favourite artist embraces the mainstream to such a ludicrous degree that, in the case of Prince, he's giving away his new album with copies of the Mail on Sunday. Like, it couldn't be The Guardian or The Telegraph or whatever. He had to go for the Mail on Sunday.
Or one of my favourite hip-hoppers, Common, decides to sell his album in Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty bad. Like, what would you do if Public Enemy started giving away their new album with I don't know, tampons or something like that? It would certainly affect your enjoyment, I think, a little bit. Don't you think? Just a little bit.
Specifically with tampons.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't dwell on that. Lisa's holding her head in her hands now.
We've had 1 or 2 texts on this subject. Somebody called 90 in Leeds. Is your name really 90, the number 90? Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Maybe you're an associate of Prince.
I think he's Joe 90.
Really?
Yeah.
He says, or she says,
He's a puppet.
Paul McCartney has been below par for many a year, so his capitalist defection is no surprise. Yeah, that's about McCartney releasing his album through the popular coffee chain.
Right.
Joni Mitchell releasing through that coffee shop, though, makes me feel that all hope is lost. Joni Mitchell released one through the major coffee chain as well. Did you know that?
Yeah, but, I mean, is it any worse? You know, major record companies have got all sorts of fingers in all sorts of pies. Is it any worse than just going for
That's
like a
what
high
we're
street
asking.
shop or something?
Kim in Rochdale says, artists who appear on iPod adverts go down considerably in my estimations. Now, those are those adverts with a kind of silhouette of some highly fashionable looking person boogieing around with weird Rorschach splodges dancing around in the background.
Yeah. But I thought iPods were cool.
You know, I think that's an inaccurate advert. Anyway, 'cause
help.
no one goes into the street and dances like that with their iPod.
Do you not?
What you do is you walk along the street like a zombie, bumping into everybody and being completely unaware of your surroundings.
Oh, dear me,
Yeah.
Joe
Bit of a
Cornish.
chip on my shoulder there.
I do. I groove around there. I'm really grooving around. You can see my little fat belly in silhouette while I'm grooving with my iPod.
Sticking to the point, though, Will in Ealing says, finding a CD you love in the major coffee shop chain must be like finding out your girlfriend is your long-lost sister.
What? Does he mean sexy?
Time for some music, I think.
No, it's a trail.
Hey, no, here we go. Just before we do the trail, Martin from Brighton has a very kind of considered and balanced thing to say. He says, I've got to say, I'm happy to let artists do whatever they want as long as the music doesn't start to suck as a result of moist boobs. Selling out only happens when the music is compromised. Yeah, that's man. And then he says man at the end.
That's got to be the last
Martin,
word.
you're so sensible.
Yeah.
Thank God for Martin.
Vote for Martin.
Here's a trail.
That was Breaks with a track called Beatific Visions. Is that a new one, Lisa?
Yes, it is.
That's good, man. I really enjoyed that. Their first album was very good as well. Now, they're a kind of supergroup, I believe. They're made up from members of British Sea Power and the Electric Soft Parade. Yeah. And the sum of their parts adds up to a greater whole, I believe, than either of those bands, if that makes any sense. That's not to put down either of those bands. I don't want to fight with anyone from British Sea Power or the Electric Soft Parade. I don't want any kind of Sea Power violence. I'm just saying that the Breaks are really good, and I enjoyed that very much. Favourite supergroup, Joe Cornish?
That one.
No, come on, you must have it. What, Travelling Wilburys?
Yeah, I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think about my favourite
Oh,
supergroup.
I love the Travelling Wilburys. Their collection came out recently, and that was a guilty pleasure. Actually, we were talking about guilty pleasures in the break there, saying that it was a sort of bogus concept. You know, you either like something or you don't. There's no reason for you to feel guilty about it. But when the Travelling Wilburys first emerged, I found myself feeling pretty conflicted about enjoying, there was a song called End of the Line. Well, it's all right. We're going to the end of the line. It was really good. And I thought, I love this song, but this is clearly the most uncool group that you could ever like. Just these old blokes. A lot of their songs were about, getting old and, how they shouldn't be discriminated against just because they're ancient. But, actually, you know, they were wicked, and their collection came out, and a lot of the songs, even though they sound like the sort of stuff that maybe your mum might enjoy more than, say, Pete Doherty. I don't know why I picked him out. He's like one of their kids, right? Russell Brand. How about that? It's still really good stuff. So they're my favourite supergroup. Joe Cornish?
I'm going to have to think. I don't think I've got any favourite supergroups.
What? Not even while I was rambling about the Wilburys?
No, I feel like I've been on a really long walk.
Favourite supergroups, anyone? Text us, why not? Or you can email
Or
us.
just your favourite soup. I'd be happy with that.
What is your favourite soup?
I don't really like soup. Anything with croutons.
Anything with croutons. That's
Yeah.
nothing to do with the soup, though, is it? That's
Well,
just
it is,
putting
'cause
croutons,
the croutons
in
are
it.
in the soup.
Yeah, but it's
Listen,
not...
what next? Quickly. What, a record or something? A trail, a record.
The
Which one?
Shins. The Shins. How about that?
With Turn Me On.
Yeah, Turn On Me.
Yeah, that was the Shins with Turn On Me. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. It's just coming up to 8:30 here. Are the world's best male ice dance pair, Adrian and Harvey, with the news.
Yeah, that's Susie Sue with Into a Swan. Now, I got invited to be a Facebook friend of an old friend of ours, Joe, yesterday. Susie. Yeah, you remember Susie?
Yeah.
Used to go out with Lou.
Yeah.
And she calls herself Susie Sue. And
Really?
but I thought, well, it's actually Susie Sue. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, I thour it was like the lady that used to be in Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, I see.
Wanted
You
to be
thought
friends.
she was inviting you to be friends.
Yeah. And Susie, our friend, apologised for using the moniker. She said, I know it's a bit cheesy, but this is what I'm masquerading as in the Facebook world. Would you be my friend? And nice as it was to hear from her, I was a little bit disappointed
That she would use that moniker.
that it wasn't the actual Susie Sue. But then I felt embarrassed. Why would Susie Sue ever want to be friends with me on Facebook?
Quite right.
But
that's a great new single there. It's new material from Susie Sue. It's called Into a Swan. This is BBC Six Music. You're listening to Adam and Joe. It's time for an exciting new feature. We're trying to give our show some structure despite the terrible restrictions placed on competitive things in the BBC currently. So we've invented a brilliant new non-competitive segment of the show, which we're calling Text the Nation.
it's a little bit like Test the Nation,
Yeah,
right?
that show on the BBC, and we're it's like Adam Robinson and Joe Schofield, right?
Yeah. And now there's, of course, quite a good chance that around about 150 other radio stations also have a feature called Text the Nation, but we're going to ignore that fact for the time being and plough on. Today, what we wanted you to text in to us about was this. What's the best thing you ever found, and what's the worst thing you ever lost?
You're talking about stuff you find, like, on the street.
On the street, yeah, just randomly, like, or if you're, on a plane or something.
There's a clear distinction between finding something and stealing something, isn't there?
Yeah,
there is.
Of course,
no, but there is a grey area. For instance, if something, do you remember we did this once before in a phone-in?
Right.
And there was somebody who claimed that anything on the floor anywhere is public property.
Oh,
so
yes.
even if it falls off a shelf in a shop, if it's on the floor, and apparently there is a legal stipulation that says that.
A little bit like squatters' rights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just the floor generally, like the beach, is just public property, and anything that's on it is yours.
That would be your legal defence if you got caught shoplifting.
But anyway, we're talking about stuff you actually find in the street.
It was on the floor.
For instance, I got into the R&B artist Mary J. Blige, who I like quite a lot.
Yeah.
I first discovered her music because I was walking through Brixton, where I live, and I found a Mary J. Blige CD on the street.
No.
Literally street music. It was slightly scratched. I brought it home. It played perfectly.
Was it in the case and everything?
Nope, it was just a loose CD. It was her first album.
Wow. I wonder if that was the result of some kind of argument. Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe the man or the lady snatched the CD from the player at a certain point in the argument and lobbed it dramatically out of the window like a flying saucer.
I think it's because her music is so urban and so streety that it grows out of the cracks between paving stones like a kind of urban fungus.
Right.
Like a mushroom.
So it was a
modern mushroom.
Naturally
a cyber
occurring
mushroom.
soul hip-hop phenomenon.
Exactly.
And you just bent down and plucked it.
It's like you might pick mushrooms in the autumn. You can go out and pluck the new Mary J. Blige CD off the streets of Brixton.
Do you think that happens with Mike Skinner's stuff as well? It just grows.
Yeah, but it's that grows in North London, doesn't it?
I was saying that
in Trustafarian areas.
Yeah.
Where's he from, Mike Skinner?
He lives in Brixton, I think.
Does he?
Yeah, well, originally he's from somewhere like Birmingham or Leeds. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so yes, text us. We'd like to hear stories about the best thing you found and also the worst thing you've lost, the thing that you were most gutted to lose. Not just your keys yesterday, but like an item that had real sentimental value or was very important to you. So I guess it could be your keys, but there has to be some anecdote attached to it.
Give us your examples here, Adam Buxton.
Things I've lost. Now you're putting me on the spot a little bit.
Do you watch? Should we play a track while you think of something?
Well, yeah, okay. Here's a track that...
You thought of this idea for the competition. Why didn't you have examples?
Lead me down the embarrassing alleyway. Here's a track that encapsulates many of my feelings about this. I was actually inspired by me wanting just to play this track, to be honest with you, Joe. This is by the Divine Comedy, and it's from, I think, their album Resurrection.
But hang on, before we play the track, we should say text 64046 with your suggestions of the most precious thing you've ever lost and the most valuable thing you've ever found. 64046.
It's not called Resurrection, is it? Is it Restoration?
You chose it.
Is it Restoration? Regeneration. I'm a big loser. It's a good track, though.
Is it by?
It's by Divine Comedy, and it's called Lost Property. It's got wonderful lyrics all about this very thing.
Oh, that was lovely.
It's good, isn't it? Shall I do a little bit of name dropping, Joe?
Go on.
Would you like me to?
Yeah.
One of my happiest musical memories is watching Neil Hannon from the Divine Comedy playing that track on his acoustic guitar in the Chateau Marmont in LA, sat next to Jason Faulkner, a wonderful musician also, used to be in the band Jellyfish, is now a great solo musician in his own right. Jason then went on to play Song from Under the Floorboards on the acoustic by Magazine. There's a little bit of name-dropping muso fun for you.
A little bit. So we're in the middle of an exciting... It's not a competition, it's a sort of text happening.
Yeah.
A text event. We're calling it Text the Nation. It's just a sort of a survey type thing. What can't you believe?
Can't believe we're here.
I think many other people think the same thing. And the thing we've asked you to text us about is the coolest thing you've found, stroke the most tragic thing that you've lost. And we've had quite a lot of text, but before we go to them, let me give you the text number. It's 64046. And Adam, why don't you tell us about the event that inspired you to think of this marvellous text composition?
Well, I sort of admitted before that it was partly the desire just to hear that Divine Comedy track, but also I was thinking about a time as a youngster living in Earl's Court when I was about 12 or maybe 11, and I found a little bottle, a kind of little jar.
A magic bottle?
A magic jar.
In the street?
In the street, right? And it was sort of silver, and it had a lightning strike down the side.
Wow.
And I believed
like a sort of Harry Potter
exactly.
bottle.
And I thought I found some kind of magic potion. And it had some stuff inside it, and luckily I didn't go home and imbibe any of this. But I was terrified.
Did you open it?
No, I didn't open it, no. I found out years later, of course, that what I had found was a popper, a little bottle of amyl nitrate, which is a sort of drug that's used on the club scene.
Gentlemen that love gentlemen use it to familiarise
stop.
themselves
and
with one another in an intimate fashion.
Because it was relaxing properties. But I, of course, didn't use it, but I looked back years later and realised that's what I had found. But I was so excited about it, I kept it for ages because I really thought maybe it had some kind of magical properties. In a way, I was right. But, but I never found out about those magical properties.
It's capable of opening up a magical portal.
Until years later. So that would be one amazing thing that I found. But I was
talking to another world.
I was talking to Joe earlier on about whether he'd actually ever found any items of clothing, because clothing is a big thing that you can often
Well, this is
find
quite
on the
shocking,
street.
listeners, because it appears that Adam Buxton just picks up bits of clothes off the street,
Not all the
takes them
time.
home, washes them, and wears them.
Twice I've done it.
I think pretty much everybody every now and then comes across, a hat
Yeah.
or a jumper just hung on a railing.
A scarf.
A scarf.
What
It's
about
all-
a scarf?
all damp.
If you found a really nice scarf, it was a little bit damp. All it needed was a little wash, pop it in the washing box, and then you got a scarf. What's wrong with that?
What is wrong with that? It just makes you
Pair
into
of
a sort of
gloves?
a tramp.
Come on, listen. And then it's being recycled, and then someone else's little personal tragedy of losing those gloves
Has
that they
turned
were
into
given
a victory. You're right.
has turned into a little
There's something
treat.
beautiful about it. Listen, if you listeners have got a brilliant story of something that you found in the street that, proved wonderful for you, or something tragic that you lost in the street, text us 64046. And after the next record, we'll be reading some of your responses out. There's something to look forward to, eh?
Yeah, now here's Amy Winehouse. She's a girl that gets a hard time, I think. You know
Well,
what I
she
mean?
gives herself a hard time
Does
by
she?
drinking the magic bottle.
But so what? If she's not hurting anyone else apart
She's
from
hurting
herself.
herself.
Nanny state, innit? I thought you were anti the nanny state.
Well, I just think she should calm down.
Really?
Yeah.
She's still a very talented lady, though. Here's a track called Tears Dry on Their Own.
Fantastic. That's Amy Winehouse with Tears Dry on Their Own. Let's hope she cleans up and recovers, because she's so very talented. And it's, bad that she's in a bad state. Right, Adam? It's quite an impassioned sort
That
of
was, man.
plea
I was really
She
impressed by
might be
that.
listening.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll get through her,
That'll
her
snap her out of it.
beehive.
Exactly.
Into her bonds.
In her diary, she'll write, listening to Six Music this morning, Joe Cornish made a very impassioned plea for me to get my act together. You know what? I think I'm gonna.
That's what she'd write as well.
Exactly.
Gonna.
With two N's, and she would clean up her act thereafter, and it would be an important watershed. However, every song she wrote after that would be rubbish.
Oh, that's life, eh? This is Adam and Joe. This is BBC Six Music. We're running an extraordinary text. And it's not a competition, it's a happening called Text the Nation. And we're making sure we say that name every time we talk about it. We're asking you the most extraordinary thing you've ever lost or found. And we've been overwhelmed by text responses. Shall I read some of them out, Adam?
Would you?
Yeah, here we go. Morning, Adam and Joe. The best thing I ever found was a £20 note floating down the river.
No.
Yeah, that sounds spurious, doesn't it? This is from Drew in Weymouth. The worst thing I've lost has to be my Star Wars t-shirt. Drew, we believe the t-shirt, but £20 notes floating down rivers. That's
I
something
believe
out of
it.
Enid Blyton. Do you?
Well, yeah, why would he make it up?
Why would a £20 note be floating down a river?
Maybe it just floated off a gangster. A
pirate.
Naughty Box Charlie. He'd been thrown in the river by
Box Charlie.
Guy Ritchie and his henchmen, and some of the booty that he'd stolen off Jimmy the Whiffle had come out of
this
his
is very
wallet.
involved.
And then, so you found one of the £20 notes from...
Movie shifting on. Ryan in Kentish Town. I found the 1000th edition of Blues and Soul magazine in Camden in a bar. It was a coincidence because I'm a Blues and Soul fan.
That's good.
That's good. Are you sure that wasn't just someone else's copy? Or a copy owned by the bar? I think that's theft. We're reporting both of these texts to the police. The next one, I found an amazing Michel Negrin necklace. I can only assume he's a designer, or she, in the road outside a public school in my town after parking the car. Turns out it was worth 80 quid.
80 quid.
Now that's an anonymous one, but obviously that belonged to someone in the school. So rather than taking it into the school, turning it into the lost property office, this anonymous texter merely took it to the local pawn shop, got 80 knicker for it.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, sometimes it's very clear that you should hand the thing in that you've found. You know what I mean? If you find
Yeah.
somebody's wallet, their details are in there, it's a no-brainer. You give it to the cops and
Yeah.
they hopefully get their stuff back.
Money belongs to the Queen,
Right.
and you should send it back to her.
Yeah, or a member of Queen.
Okay,
May.
one more before we go to a record. Dave says, when I was 6 in Australia, I found a lump of gold on the beach.
Hey, nice one,
Yeah?
Dave.
Is that true, Dave?
I'd like to find out how big the lump of gold was, because it could have just been like a tiny lump of sand. You know what I would like now, Joe, is to hear some kind of Harry Hill-based trail for a program or something.
Your wish is my command.
What's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster?
I think it was a monster.
Oh,
That was
thank you.
Monster by Automatic, and before that, we had Edwin Collins with You'll Never Know. That was a new track from Edwin Collins. I love the sound of that.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Does that mean a new Collins album on the
Surely.
horizon? What a lovely man as well. Very seriously ill quite recently, right? That was Edwin, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's okay now.
Yeah,
though.
but he's recovered fully.
Thank goodness.
Years ago, we used to have a program on Channel 4, and we had a segment called Vinyl Justice, where we went round to pop stars' houses and kind of rifled through their record collections. And we did, Edwin, didn't we?
Absolutely. We had a really good
He
afternoon
was such
there.
a nice man.
Yeah, he was really nice. Pulled out like loads of amazing orange juice rarities for us because he knew we were big fans.
And the thing I love most about Orange Juice, being a kind of a hip hop and R&B fan, is that they merge kind of guitar pop and soul.
Yeah, that's
Better than I think any other rock band ever.
And
That's a
certainly,
bit of a sweeping
when
statement.
when they first came out, was it in the early 80s or the late 70s? Orange Juice, that kind of Scottish postcard music label scene. No one else was doing that kind of thing at all in the post-punk times then, and they were very much going against the grain.
Which is always a good thing to do, I think.
Go against
Joe.
the grain. I hate the grain.
I hate the grain
Whichever
too.
way the grain's going, I go the opposite
Same-
direction.
same here,
Yeah,
same here.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
We're Adam and Joe. This is BBC Six Music. We're in the middle of an exciting kind of text event where we're asking you what the most amazing things you've ever lost and found are. Okay, this was your idea, Adam Buxton.
I was just remembering that one time, one of the worst things I lost again when I was little, when things like that, you know, the older and wiser you get, of course, you realise that material things, you shouldn't lose that much sleep. They come and go. The most important things in life are. I was going to say something filthy, but other spiritual things. But when you're younger,
What are you talking about?
I don't know. When you're younger, you don't realise that. And once I lost this thing called the Mighty Men and Monster Maker. Did I ever tell you about this, Joe?
No.
And it was a plastic gizmo that I got from a trip to America one time. And you would put little templates. It was a bit like brass rubbing, right?
Right.
With these little different sections of
Monster
plastic
Men.
bits that you could combine different combinations of little brass rubbing plates, except it wasn't brass, it was just plastic, and you would make monster pictures, right?
Yes.
Don't grin at me like that.
It's just you're going into a weird trance. It's good though. It's exciting. I don't think anyone understands what you're saying. But it's exciting.
It was a game and it
you
was
lost it.
wicked and I lost it. I took it to
Right.
school and I lost it. I couldn't believe it. I lost it. But then a couple of days later, right?
You found it?
I saw it. I saw it with this guy. with this bloke.
No, someone had stolen it.
Well, I said to him, hey, you got the Mighty Men and Monster Maker. He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I know it's pretty cool. It's mine. And he said, no, it's not. I got one. I said, where'd you get it from then? From Woolies. You can't get them in Woolies. I got it from the States, in the American States. That's the only place you can get that. He's like, oh yeah, that's Woolies in the States. My aunt brought it back.
Woolies
from
does exist in the States.
Yeah. So anyway, I knew this guy was lying. I knew for a fact. There was no question.
Do you remember his name?
He just half-inched it. David Bradford.
Is that true?
No. And he
Tracked
just
him down.
he nicked this thing from me. There was no question. So here I went a step further. Here's what I did, right?
Yeah.
Is this morally right?
Dunno.
That night I crept into
Creeped.
the room. I cropped into the classroom where I knew this guy was stashing the Mighty Men and Monster Maker, and I scratched my initials onto the underneath.
No.
Yeah.
Thereby
The
making
next day,
false evidence.
exactly. The next day, I went and I said, I just remembered. I scratched my name into that when I first got it. It's on the underneath. Flip it over. Take a look. And there were my initials. And he was totally busted, and he said, oh, right, okay, well...
So that proved that he did steal them.
Yeah, but...
In his reaction.
Exactly. So I was right. There was no question I was right. But was that right to do a little evidence
I don't
planting
know.
there?
The one thing I do know is we now no longer have any time for any listener responses to our competition, because you've taken the whole thing talking about yourself.
Well, listen, let's have one of your free choices then, Joe, and then
Okay.
after that we can have some more.
Yeah,
of
we'll
the
have some
texts.
text. All right, this is my free choice. No particular reason. It just popped up on my iPod the other day, and I realised how much I like it. This is Dexy's Midnight Runners with Let's Make This Precious. Did it? They did make it precious.
Absolutely, they did.
What a great record. I love that record. It sounds like a bunch of dockers, like in the middle of a very hard day of welding, who suddenly decide to make something precious.
Let's make it precious.
I think we probably will. And they all start doing it. It's like an amazing musical.
But they didn't. Were they in there? Is that from Touraye?
Yeah, I think it's certainly that era.
So
It was a B-side, wasn't it, of one of their big singles?
Right.
Or was it even a single? I don't know. We don't know anything about music.
So at
listeners.
that point, they were all looking like kind of jolly travelling folk.
Yeah,
weren't they?
dungarees, leather jackets, red scarves tied round their necks. Exactly, chimney sweeps.
Because they did go.
Jolly chimney
They
sweeps.
actually went through a phase where they did look like stevedores, you know, like dockers and stuff.
Yeah.
What a great band.
Well,
Anyway,
look, they should reform. Get back together. Come on.
I think they probably have, haven't they? I don't know.
So it's time for some listener input to our exciting text event where we're asking you the most exciting things that you've lost and found. Are you ready for some more texts, Adam?
Yes,
Buxton?
please.
Okay, here we go. The best thing I found on the street was an enamel badge from the 1977 FA Cup final. I feel sorry for the guy who lost it after 30 years. So that was recently. He's saying he found it this year.
That's good, man. I found a little badge, a little button badge one time with the word knickers on it.
Did you?
In pink. And I really loved the badge, you know, and I wore it for about...
Oh, obviously you'd love that badge.
Yeah,
What
I
a
wore it
badge.
for about 3 years, and then I lost it. So I was gutted. It
Wow.
was strange, you know, it passed through my life, but what a good
Some
time we
French
had together.
filmmaker will make a film about that badge. Le Nicker.
Les knickers.
Le badge de Nicker.
Les pants.
Okay, here's another one. There's some silly ones I'm going to have to skip past. In the mid-'80s, I rounded a corner in Finsbury Park to find a pair of red, patent leather, sequined platforms in mid-pavement. A Cinderella moment, says Dom. That's quite magical, isn't it? They must have been magical in some way.
Absolutely. Left
Ready
by
to sort of
some
step into.
sort of witch or other.
Again, that's like some sort of French film, or maybe a Björk video or something.
And does Dom say what he did with them? Did he step into them?
No,
and
Dom's a very elliptical,
dance
mysterious
away?
man or woman.
Yeah.
No one will ever know about Dom.
Wow.
Here's somebody called Paul Mertug. Is that how you say it, Paul? In Glasgow.
Not Paul Merton.
Not Paul Merton.
Okay.
I found a Neolithic flint hand axe when I was on a job in Antrim. I'm an archaeologist.
That's kind of your job, though, isn't it? Paul, that's what you do.
I did lose a great woolly hat once. Cheers, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
No nonsense.
Lost my shoes
Thanks,
at
Paul.
primary school. This is from Tommy in Broxbourne. Lost my shoes at primary school, got picked up by mum, couldn't explain why I was in socks. Still can't. That's highly traumatic. To be shoeless at primary school is a sort of primal Freudian thing.
Yeah, that's like dreaming.
It's the sort of thing you dream about. Yeah, being naked at school,
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
or being in
Tommy,
bed in the middle of
I'm
a
glad
class.
you've got this out, Tommy. Sharing this with the Six Music listenership will be therapeutic for you. Something he's found, Tommy's found. He was buying a suit for a fancy dress, an Abe Lincoln suit for his 21st birthday party from a charity shop. Spent £5 on the suit, found a tenner in the pocket.
Nice.
Ka-ching! £5 up, mate. £5 profit.
Sweet, free suit.
Free suit, exactly.
That's great.
I think those are the best of our texts. Keep texting in if you'd like. The text number is 64046. The best things that you've lost and found. Do you want a quite depressing one, just to end up with?
Go on then.
No, here's an upbeat one. I found a beautiful husband in a bar in Bar Italia in Soho in 2005. I still got him, says Lizzie. Isn't that nice? There's one about someone getting divorced and losing their whole family. But we'll end on an upbeat note.
Okay, it's trail time.
What was that one then?
Super Furries with Show Your Hand. This is Adam and Joe on 6 Music. We're filling in for Sean Keaveney, if you're wondering what we're doing here and why Sean's not here. He'll be back in a couple of weeks.
He's in Italy, yeah. I was so annoyed to miss Gruff Rhys at the Green Man Festival on the weekend.
Yeah, well,
I was at the Green Man Festival. It rained really hard, so I had to leave. Gruff Rhys was on the Sunday. I saw him last year, though. He was amazing. Do you know what he does? Do you know what he does?
He sings songs.
He sings songs, but he does a thing where he does live looping. Have you ever seen anybody do that? So you play a couple of instruments, record them, loop it, and then play along to what you've just played. So just one guy and a couple of instruments, he builds up a whole track.
There's some
just
human
human
beatboxers who do that on the net. There's loads of those kinds of videos.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's the kind of thing you'd expect Radiohead would probably do.
You know, and Gruff Rhys was so good at it because presumably if you make one little slip, then you have to live with it for the rest of the track because it loops and loops. You've got to be completely precise. He was a genius.
He is. He's an amazing man.
Okay, then. So we're going to continue now with our amazing text competition where we're asking you to tell us about things that you've lost and found. You ready for some more, Adam Buxton?
Go on, then. Are we going to wrap this up now?
Yeah, this is our final little lot of... these are emails.
Yeah.
This is one from Joe. He says, I lost when I was around 10... brackets, the age.
Yeah.
I think he's saying that 10 is a very psychologically important age. Things that happen to you at that age tend to stick with you and scar you. He lost a near-completed game of Pokemon Yellow, brackets, great game, and a special yellow Game Boy. And he lost them in a rental Mitsubishi Shogun. This was bad enough, but then, when we'd packed our cases ready to leave for the airport, we saw the very car that we'd rented drive past, presumably with the lost things in it, and a whole different family in it.
Oh, no.
Unsurprisingly, my children tears did not subside. It's a slightly creepy way to describe your tears, Joe. But I can just picture that. Another family. Was there another child with horrible jammy fingers playing your yellow Pokemon game?
The young Adolf Hitler staring from the window of the car, leering as he enjoyed your game.
Wow. Okay, here's another one from Michael Folds. Hey,
Why is
Adam.
that amusing to you?
What is the name? His name is
Just
Folds.
And the,
Adam and Joe. Great to hear you both on the radio. When I was at primary school, aged 5 or 6, I had a Mr. Happy eraser. I haven't read this one ahead, by the way. So who knows what's going to happen. It might stop in the middle. I had a Mr. Happy eraser, or rubber, as we called them in those days, before it became a minefield of innuendo and silly sniggering and became too hard. Fnar, hee, etc. Double brackets. This is pushing my abilities to read punctuation. There was a parenthesis there, and now I've lost the emphasis, which I was very happy with. Full stop. Anyone following this?
No. No one.
Then one day another boy in my class decided to claim it as his own. Okay, let's recap. Mr. Happy Rubber lost it, boy claimed it as his own. I told him that it was ridiculous to make such a claim as I'd had it for ages. Anyway, this went on until the teacher intervened and decided to take it away from us, saying that no one could have it. I'm sure nowadays that's known as...
What were you doing in that Gruff Rhys track?
I'm collapsing.
You were just having fun listening to Gruff Rhys being
giving up on
genius
that email.
with the Super Furries.
Michael Folds, I'm sure that was brilliant, but I'm incapable of reading your grammar in a comprehensible manner.
Listen, thank you very much indeed to everyone who emailed and texted us in on that subject. We'll be texting the nation again tomorrow here on 6 Music, but until then, here's one from Jose Gonzalez. I'm going to carry on talking until he starts singing, because that's the kind of thing that DJs do.
What if it's an instrumental?
No, it's not an instrumental. I can see here at the BBC exactly how much time I've got before I crash the vocal.
You thought that was him
another
singing.
10 seconds, so I can carry on chatting in this kind of way right up until the moment that Jose starts singing the song, which is called Down the Line, and here it is.
See problems down the line. Don't let the dark past hit you.
Well, now we're going to have to crash the track after your amazing intro. We're now crashing the vocal because we've got to go to the news at 9:30, read by Adrian and Harvey. That was The Damned with Love Song. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music. We're entering the last 22 minutes of our tenure here this morning, but we'll be back tomorrow morning from 7. It's time for our album track of the day, or album of the day, or track from the album of the day, right? And today it's from MIA. Now tell me what you know about MIA, Adam Buxton.
She is a young lady, and she's angry, and with you.
With me?
Yeah, because of all the stuff you said, and she's furious about it. And
that's all true.
Mainly the album is about that.
That's all true. I've been reading 1 or 2 articles about her because she's been doing a lot of publicity.
Right.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but I think her dad was a Tamil tiger or someone, involved in some kind of underground political group, which makes her, well, that's quite exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other famous singers in the R&B world with activist parents include, what about Tupac Shakur?
Well, what did
Wasn't his
parents
mum
do?
a Black Panther?
Right.
I think so. Anyway, her real name is Maya Arul Pragasam. Her new album, Carla.
Maya, surely.
Well, maybe. Depends.
MIA?
Maybe. Her new album, Carla, named after her mother.
He can never admit it. He can never admit it.
It's about, well, yeah, I've lost my train of
Sorry,
thought
mate.
now. The album's named after her mother, and you can hear further tracks from this album throughout the day. So here we go. This is by, what's she called?
Maya.
Yeah, this is called, the track's called Jimmy.
That's very
What's
good.
going on there?
That's brilliant, though, isn't it?
Yeah, what did she say at the end?
Jimmy, I love to hear you sing.
I hope you heard me sing or something.
Don't know. There's moments in there where she's on the very edge of just screeching in a quite annoying way.
Yeah, but it ends up being quite good.
But she keeps pulling it back.
She does. She keeps it the right side of annoying, and some very, very fast fiddle playing.
Yeah.
Speedy fiddleizing.
Sort of almost a Turkish kind of sound there.
Yeah.
Or Arabic sounding.
Anyway, that's our tip for the top. That's our album of the day. The album's called Carla by Maya, and the track's called Jimmy.
That's good, man. I'm going to see if I can steal a copy of that from
Why
someone.
don't you just buy it?
No, I want to steal it. Music
enough.
doesn't sound good to me unless it's stolen.
Fair enough.
And
This is the BBC Six Music. We're Adam and Joe filling in for Sean Keaveney. It's just coming up to 9:45. What next?
I'm feeling a bit more sprightly than I was yesterday. Yesterday, I got to about 9 o'clock and I was in real tired trouble.
Well, yesterday was a difficult day for us listeners. We were just getting used to the strange new world of this BBC studio.
What kind of alarm are you using when you wake up these days?
I have an alarm purchased from Heels. It's called a Carlson, and it glows in the dark. It's big, red LED numbers.
Oh, nice.
And it's very good. But like most people, I usually wake up slightly before the alarm goes off in that weird psychic manner that scientists can't quite figure out what's going on.
And what kind of... Have you got the radio on there to wake you up? Or
No,
have you got
it's
a
just a
tone?
beeping.
What sort of beeping? That one.
That one, yeah.
I hate that one.
Do you hate it? What's wrong with that
I hate
one?
that one. And I hate the way it becomes increasingly louder. Oh, I hate that.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Tell you
used to
the thing
have
about
that.
Carlson is you switch it on and off by simply putting pressure on the top of the clock.
That's how you switch me on and off, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Its feet are pressure sensitive.
Right.
So all you have to do is just slap it on the head.
Oh,
and it
same
shuts
as me.
up.
Same as me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Don't try it now.
So tempted to hit you.
Of course you are. But, no, I don't like that. That sounds brilliant that you can do that.
Really?
But I don't like that alarm
Let's have an
sound.
alarm clock chat tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah?
Because I
7 a.m.
I've got the best alarm sound on my phone,
I'm
right?
making a note. What's the best?
And it's amazing. It's like I'm happy when I wake up. It makes such a big
Alarm.
difference. If you wake up with a bad alarm sound, and my wife had an alarm that was given to her by her mother as a Christmas present, and it was the sound of Satan shouting.
Really?
It was awful. It was absolutely the worst sound you could possibly
We
wake
could
up
get
with.
people to phone in and play their alarm sounds down the phone. Wouldn't that be brilliant?
Or would it be incredibly annoying?
That's the sort of idea Chris Evans would die for, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do that tomorrow. Why the heck not? Now, Rilo Kiley, an amazing band, were here yesterday in the Six Music Hub. They were playing a session, and we have a track right now for you, which was played yesterday. I don't know why I trailed off there. My brain just suddenly melted. This is called The Moneymaker.
Rilo Kiley with The Moneymaker. That was recorded live in the Hub yesterday. There's some Genuine live hub applause just to prove it. That was for Gideon's show.
Genuine enthusiasm there for the Kylies. And today in the hub on Gideon Coe's programme, Blue States will be playing.
It's quite exciting because as we exit our show, we usually pass the band setting up in the hub, right?
Yeah.
We passed Rilo Kiley yesterday.
I know, and I was sort of
It didn't mean much to me, but you're the kind of person, Adam Buxton, that might go and try and ingratiate yourself with people like that.
That's correct, I am.
Yeah.
No,
Hello.
I'm just wanted to say, quite a big fan of your stuff. Like the first one. Last one was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? What happened there? Do you ever get that? Oh,
Yeah.
I love people who come up and say that sort of thing, as if you're going to go, oh, thank goodness, someone's finally being honest with me. I'm really glad that you didn't like the last thing I did. It's so refreshing to hear some absolutely negative criticism.
Should we do these exciting posters?
Stop myself. Yes, Joe came in today, folks, with a cardboard roll of posters, and he told me that he'd got them from Comic-Con, which is...
Yeah, the big comics festival in America, Comic-Con, and this is a roll of posters for forthcoming blockbusters.
Oh, really?
Yes. So look at this one. I mean, they say that great radio is about doing illustrations in the listener's brain, and here's an opportunity to do that, because obviously you can't see these posters. Poster number 1, look at this one.
Wow, they said it would never happen. It is.
This is genuinely exciting. It's a fedora hat perched on the corner of a crate with a whip, and the crate says property of Dr. Jones.
He's back, it says underneath. Memorial Day 2008. They said it would never happen.
It's a teaser poster for the new Indiana Jones movie.
And so what's the deal? Is it going to be Harrison Ford in
It's
there?
Harrison Ford, Karen Allen's back. It's Shia LaBeouf. Is that how you say his name? Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
From
LaBeouf.
Transformers. And Ray Winston, and nobody knows what the title is. It's something like Indiana Jones and the Lost City of God.
Here's another title for you. Indiana Jones and the Lost Zimmer Frame, because it's so old.
Well done. Extraordinary business. Look at this one.
Thanks very much.
There's a picture of Iron Man. That's a new film of Iron Man. No one seems to be very interested
the
in that.
Iron Man.
Yeah,
Right.
Iron Man.
I was
Yeah?
happy with-
Anybody? Look, it's like a red bloke.
Is he the same?
No.
Is it the same as the Roald Dahl
It's being
story?
directed by Jon
No, it's
Favreau,
not
who
Roald Dahl.
made Zathura and stuff like that. It's going to be great. It's got you know, what's he called? Jeff Bridges in it, the dude.
Who
Yeah?
wrote Iron Man? Ted Hughes.
No, it's not the Iron Giant.
Not the Iron Giant.
Yeah, that's the Iron Giant, mate.
And go on, give us
Have we
one more
got time?
poster.
One more poster. Oh, I don't know.
What's
Look
the
at
most
this
exciting one you've got?
Look at
Johnny
this
Depp.
one.
Look at him.
Johnny Depp in Sweeney Todd. Look at that.
Sweeney Todd. That is going to be useless.
Sweeney Todd's brilliant. If it's the musical, it'll be amazing. The musical's a classic.
He looks cool. It's a cool poster.
Directed
Johnny
by
Depp
Johnny
sat
Depp.
there flashing a little cutthroat razor.
That's enough of the posters.
Hey, Kai, it's not going to be any good, though. Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp. Time for a free play right now. This is one of mine, and this is a track called 96 Tears by Question Mark, and that's just the symbol of a question mark, right? And the Mysterians. Check it out.
Well, that's pretty much it for us today. We'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening. Thanks to everybody who's texted and emailed. If you still want to get in touch with us at any point during the day, ready for us to pick up your communication in the morning, then the text is 64046 or the email adamandjoe.6music@bbc.co.uk.
And tomorrow, I think we're going to be finding out about your favourite alarm sounds.
There's something to look forward
Yeah?
to. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something like tomorrow we're coming live from Ibiza.
Can we?
Could we?
No.
No. We'll see you tomorrow live from grotty old London then.
London town. Have a good day, though.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers,
Bye.
bye.